Welcome back to Delta Green on Myth Machine, the game of horrors beyond belief. The game where your character will slowly but surely face bodily or mental trauma that will slowly but surely eat away at them. And boy oh boy have we had a lot of that lately. In both body and mind. We have at least 2, I think, critical injuries during this story, and plenty of extra mental disorders will begin to manifest, or have already begun to manifest, perhaps. So this show is rated R for mature themes, for murder, torture, sick medical experiments that should not be done on people or otherwise, mind-twisting horror. Is there any type of horror we haven't covered yet?
Academia.
The
horror of commitment.
That's just your bonds breaking apart. That's just Tuesday. Yeah.
All my bonds are going to fall apart and I'm going to die.
Indeed. We don't have the entirety of Z-Cell here today because Blair couldn't make it, very sad. But who is here from Z-Cell?
I'm Harper, and I'm playing Sarah Gwynn.
I'm Coach. I'll be playing Agent Adrian Fallas.
I'm Chorus, and I'm playing Jareth Tristan.
I'm Cal, and I'm playing Jacqueline Morgan.
So before we jump into today's episode, let's recap what happened. Blair, Gwyn, and Tristan, who, let's face it, is recovering from a bad wound to the head, a gunshot wound to the head, remained at the motel as that scene started, together with the undead Thomas Ironshirt. Worried about their captured comrades and the escalating situation, Blair contacted Drake, the handler, and reported the capture of 2 agents, the fact that they were now wanted, and the discovery that the biological agent from the ABC plant could reanimate the dead and was potentially airborne. Drake was now audibly stressed and promised to look into acquiring heavy-duty resources and advised the team to lay low but keep eyes on the plant. While the others dealt with the fallout, Gwyn took the opportunity to study Thomas Ironshirt and discovered that his blood contained some of the blue substance that they had encountered before, confirming it was, I don't know if it's blood-borne necessarily or tissue-borne, but it's permeating both the blood and the tissues, definitely. A more thorough investigation by both Gwyn and Blair revealed the gruesome truth. Thomas was not healing. His cells were in a state of stasis, neither dying nor regenerating, much like the dog specimen you found in San Francisco. You also discovered a fatal point-blank shotgun wound in his torso that he was completely unaware of, a wound that would have killed him, should have killed him instantly, but he was still walking. Meanwhile, Fallas and Morgan awoke in the shift lab within the ABC plant, the effects of the morphine wearing off and replaced by a throbbing pain. The helpful doctor had disabled their morphine drip before leaving. Morgan, using a paperclip slipped to her by the doctor, managed to free one of her hands, and after a tense and coordinated effort involving distracting the guard, the paperclip was tossed over to Fallas, who also freed himself, and together they ambushed the guard, with Fallas choking him into unconsciousness before breaking his neck. Yep. Murder is on the menu here, folks. Now free, the pair decided to ambush the next guard during the shift change. Fallas donned the dead guard's uniform and they set a trap. When the replacement guard arrived, they overpowered and killed him as well. And now both of them, dressed in guard uniforms, discovered a note from the doctor detailing an escape route through a maintenance vent in Hall B. They made their way to the vent, waited for nightfall, and under cover of darkness, they emerged and located a security jeep. The escape from the compound, however, was not over, because they had still to get out of the main gate. They tried to bluff their way out by faking a medical emergency, but the guards weren't fooled and refused to open the gate. So Fallas gunned the engine, crashed into the gate, the guards opened fire. Protected by the vehicle and their armored vest, they sustained minimal injury, and you managed to get through the gate and you escaped into the night. After escaping, you ditched the compromised vehicle, stole a new one from a truck stop, and made contact with Blair to arrange a rendezvous point outside the Blackfeet Reservation, while learning from police radio chatter that they were now wanted for murder. And so it is, I believe, it is now, we're looking at the calendar here, it is now 1 a.m. Saturday, September 12th, because we're across the date line here, 1998. And we could have the two groups, Fallas and Morgan, and I guess Blair, meet up at the motel where Dryden and Gwyn are hiding out with Thomas. If that is the next step that Fallas and Morgan had in mind, I just wanted to inquire about that first.
Okay.
Fallas and Morgan, you're alright with that as the next step?
Yep.
Alright. So, I guess it's gonna be about 2-ish when, because you shifted motel rooms, didn't you? You left the Blackfeet Reservation, you're off the reservation, and here we are with everybody else finally arriving. The cell is reunited. I'm gonna advance the clock like an hour because that seems reasonable, all the logistics. And we're gonna have Morgan and Fallas, in fact, getting to the location and I guess knocking on the door. I'm not sure if you are with Blair at that point or if she has, because it would make sense that she's leading you to the rendezvous place, right? Because you met up with her on the road.
Yep.
So yeah, here we are. It's a motel room. That's for sure what it is. And Blair is gonna knock on the door with a specially coded knock. I'm gonna say that's gonna be enough to wake at least Gwyn up. Why not? You've had the chance to slumber for... When did you get here? Maybe a couple of hours. I don't think it's going to be enough to get rid of any exhaustion yet. I haven't given you a check mark for exhaustion yet either. Dryden! Welcome back, Dryden. It's been a while since we saw you here at the table.
Yeah, my apologies.
Life is life. How is Dryden feeling right now?
For a lack of... Go ahead.
You took a critical injury to the face when you were shot during that duel. And the statistic you chose to dump as a result was intelligence, of which you now have 3.
Yep.
3 seems to me to be the mental equivalent of I don't know. Yeah. Something very low.
It makes sense. He had his head blown open. Some of that intelligence leaked out.
I guess the question is 3 the minimum for an investigator or for the average human? Because
3
if
is
3 is the minimum for an
a
investigator.
human.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
My dear lord, I think you're cooked, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why, but so far Delta Green hates my character. It be what it be.
Delta Green hates every character, my friend. So,
We-
You're not
It's a bit of a
very
hard
lucky,
session.
Tristan. Not
No
very
news
lucky
there.
at all.
Did we?
I mean-
roll? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
In sickness and in health, am I right? But like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
gonna say he feels like shit, and he's still gonna be out for just a tiny bit longer, because that's not good. And it hurts a lot. So even if he does wake up, he's just not gonna say anything and just remain quiet and still.
Yeah,
Think
Driscoll.
that if you go to a very bad party and drink the Everclear punch that's mixed with vodka, that's
That's the
basically
one.
how his head feels.
Oh, I'm not even sure that he feels that, because Blair has been taking care of him, and if she has a shot of morphine in her medical bag, and I'm pretty sure she does, I'm sure
Has she
she's
been able to
distributed.
go into my nugget and help
Yeah.
fix the pain?
Morphine helps everywhere, so you just give him a shot in the arm, and after that, you're feeling all woozy and have no idea what's really going on. It's just all cotton in your head.
Yeah.
If you've ever been in surgery and been morphined afterward, after you're coming out of the surgery, you know how that feels.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a feeling where you can be at your full faculties and do a good job. It's a feeling where, like, I'm lying in bed and everything is fluffy.
Yeah, he's just laying in bed. He doesn't care about anything that's going on.
And everything is fluffy.
Yep, everything's fluffy. Look at that pink unicorn across the room.
You know what is a good thing when you're like this and all drugged up? You get bonuses to all sanity checks. So plus 20 to sanity check to repress an acute episode of a disorder, which you will need because Thomas Ironshirt is walking back and forth in this room, and you haven't seen Thomas Ironshirt with his new exciting look of face shot up. That's an exciting
Lovely.
new look. So that's what he looks like nowadays.
A walking corpse. I called it.
Yeah, so feel free to roll a sanity check, but you have plus 20 because you're so buzzed from the morphine.
Yeah, that's not gonna do me any good. But
Do
no.
you something?
We ball. Mm,
Not
Nope.
enough good, apparently. You needed
Your
You
sanity's
needed
so low.
43.
yeah, I wonder why. First up I'm on, get Sandy sniped. This one, just all of it gone.
You weren't even the guy. You weren't even the one. You weren't even involved in the whole breaking and entering thing.
Nope.
Well,
Mostly.
do you want to roll a d6 or should I?
Yeah, I'll roll a d6. Do I want to? No. Do I have to? Yes.
I could. Look at that. You don't actually go into an acute episode, which is very nice.
Lovely.
Poor Dristan is soon down to 0 sanity and will no longer be a playable character.
Yeah.
Let's see now. You do have your OCD disorder, but it's been cured according to our notes. So you're
It
fine.
has?
Yeah, you went through. I think it might be triggered again when you hit a breaking point, though, which you have. So I need to double check that. So just give me a second here. Just home, bum, bum, not prosecution, but therapy. Critical success cures it. Whether your agent develops a bond with a therapist. Cured. Next time you gain a disorder, you must roll another sanity test. If that fails, the cure disorder returns to full force alongside the new one. Okay. So I guess you have to roll another sanity test.
You cut out. What'd you just say?
Roll a sanity test.
Oh, lovely. Another sanity.
Yeah, another sanity.
And I'm down to 19. Yippee.
Oh no. You've gotten below 20.
Okay, so your OCD will come back.
I thought I succeeded. Never mind.
Yeah, but it'll come back and you'll get another one on top of that.
Oh, lovely.
Which means that right now, as you are lying there, you will have an acute episode, which gives you minus 20 on every skill test, stat test, and sanity roll until your agent can bring things into order. Everything is so disorganized here, Justin. Look at this. The lampshade is not straight. There's just a mess on the side table. People are walking back and forth across the carpeting here that needs to be fixed. And who made this bed anyway? It would never be accepted under regulations, military regulations. It's just, you can't bounce a dime off of it. This is just not how it's supposed to be. Gwen!
Yeah?
You're doing fine too, aren't you?
When compared to a normal person, no, not really. But I'm alive.
Yeah, you're alive and you're seeing Thomas Ironshirt walking back and forth in the room, and
Sorry.
you're reminded of the horrible thing that he is. Roll sanity.
Oh. Yay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that every time when he is
Oh,
with
it was...
you.
Ah! Can't see what...
I
Can
can
you see
what
that?
you rolled. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
It's
thank
just
you.
just another day at the opera as far as Sarah Gwyn is concerned.
After all the dissections it took to get a toxicology degree, I think she's a bit used to corpses.
Yeah, just not walking ones, but okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's the knock on the door, and then there's the key turning in the door. Is there anything Gwyn and Tristan wants to do before Blair opens the door to let the other agents in?
Nah.
Okay. Thomas. Blair will open the door, and in will come Fallas and Morgan. And Blair will have to roll a sanity check for seeing Thomas again. She's been away from him for a while. She's fine. Fallas and Morgan, you haven't seen Thomas for a good long while, have you? Last time you saw Thomas, he didn't have that funky new scar in his face. The piece of flesh that they've tried to stitch together with needle and thread. It's a whole new sort of almost the Joker-like scar going from along his cheek, basically. His prominent cheekbones. He's pale. His eyes are completely glazed over. He is just crossing his arms as he's looking at you guys, and he sees Fallas. Fallas sees Thomas. You have a history, don't you guys?
No, we're cool. We worked it out.
Yeah, sure. Let's see how cool you are when you roll his sanity checks.
Better not.
Oh, Fallas.
Sanity.
We knew he was going to be
Nope.
here from the phone, call.
Just
and the radio
barely, man.
transmission.
Just barely. It was
Yeah,
a near
but
miss.
knowing and seeing. So knowing and then having your body react is two different things. Roll a d6, both of you.
Okay.
This is unnatural. Your mind will never get used to it because you have a frail human mind. I guess
it's
the
not
good
that bad.
news
It's not that bad.
is neither of you have a complete
that bad.
breakout.
It's not that bad, fam.
It's not that bad. Except, let's see. Losing 2+ sanity in any single roll triggers an acute episode in which every hint of doubt about your agent's superiority fills him with indignation. That causes every use of a stat or skill to get help or make a good impression to fail. So Fallas will have his megalomania instantly triggered. You put that guy down, and you can put him down again. Fallas?
Oh my god, please.
I don't think it's necessary to kill him at this point.
No, you don't think it's necessary to kill him, but you're filled with your own grandiosity, your own perfection. You are a god. There was a zombie standing right next to you, and who is still standing here? Fallas is still standing here. Nothing can stop you, man.
It's true.
It is true. Yeah, so we're all back here. Blair is looking at Gwyn and Tristan, and Fallas and Morgan. Thomas is like, going back towards the wall, and like, I think he's actually gonna go to the washroom and just close the door and lock it. That guy shot me, man. He shot me right in the gut.
Fallas, what the fuck? Fallas, what the fuck?
First of all, he had a gun
Yes,
and he came up
Fallas.
on me. It was a shootout and he scared me. It happens.
Yeah, Fallas. He already got shot, and then you went and shot him more, Fallas.
Who shot him in the face? That wasn't my fault. Who had custody of him?
Dare turn this on me? You shot an innocent man
Oh my
in
God.
the
Okay.
stomach.
We're even because you couldn't stop him from getting shot either.
It wasn't in the.
And he wasn't
Yes, but-
innocent. He just murdered a science lady with a gun.
Or
You've murdered
honestly,
so many
but-
more people.
They started it. Actually, you started it when you said, Fallas, shoot them.
Yeah. But I'm not involved in shooting that guy. That was all you.
Let me
Blair's-
get this straight.
Regardless, I think that even though it was a blunder, look at what great evidence it makes towards our claim when we can parade Thomas Ironshirt around with no shirt and they can see that cool chest cavity I opened up in him.
You're not gonna parade me around anywhere, you freaks.
You can't
We're
hear
not
me. You're in the
using
washroom.
He can
We're
definitely.
not
hear
using
you.
him as a pet, Fallas.
You're using him as a pet. I say we use him as evidence to our claim. Because ultimately
Alex?
we're here for a job.
This is more than a job. This is an innocent kid that got wrapped up in this bullshit.
Alice, you were acting very strange.
We need somebody with some common sense. Where's Driston? Surely he can talk some logic into you.
Oh, you can see
Tristan.
Tristan lying there in the bed. Hello.
Leave me out of this. Leave me out of this. I
got some
tried
drool,
speaking
bro.
sense. Yeah, just leave it. I tried speaking sense. Nobody listened, so I'm just not gonna even look at it.
Yeah, Dristan also has his head in a bandage, so it's apparently not just Thomas Ironshirt who's gotten mauled since Fallas and Morgan saw these guys last.
Oh, I see. So I'm in charge of one person getting shot. You're in charge of two people getting shot in the face, and you're trying to preemptively jump me with it. Okay, I'm onto your games. I'm onto your games.
Because he's upset that you shot him. We can't start turning on each other like this, okay? I just want to figure out how we can get you two to not worry about the other killing each other, okay? Okay?
I'm not necessarily worried. No offense, but I'm not scared of him. At this point, we have bigger things to worry about than Thomas, and he is not. He's better to keep around at this point than to cut loose.
So
Isn't that right,
are
Thomas?
you
Huh?
Exactly.
Are you gonna shoot me again?
No. I look at Morgan sideways when I say that.
Why would I shoot him?
are
Just
you
don't
willing
shoot
to
me again.
Are you willing to apologize? I think that might be a good place to start.
I'm willing to shake his hand and offer a good chance going forward, but I will say that he did shoot that lady and he came up behind me. It was really scary.
That lady was.
I'm sorry I
apparently
shot her,
awful.
okay? You hear from Thomas inside the washroom. I'm sorry I shot.
Nah,
She was. I
She's
just couldn't
alright.
help myself. You don't know what she did. You don't know what she did, man. She was doing a horrible thing to Jake. You chopped him up into little pieces and hooked up a bunch of wires in his body parts, and he was still, even his head, he was still like eyes. The eyes were still rolling. I could see it. He was just picking her apart like she was a fucking jigsaw puzzle, man. She had to go, man. She had to go.
As he says that, I will nod along and I'll be like, yeah, we did see that actually.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
I agree. So, Fallas, you pinky promise not to shoot. Thomas, could you please not shoot Fallas?
Sure,
Well, he's still got
I
a
don't want to
gun?
shoot nobody.
Somebody take the gun from him first.
No. If you get a gun, he gets a gun.
I don't know how I feel about just everybody having a gun.
I
What
think
is this? The
everybody should have a
second?
gun.
What is this? The Second Amendment? Come on.
This is Delta Green. Look,
What?
one of us had a rocket launcher a while ago.
Thomas, aren't you a felon?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare try to invalidate his Second Amendment.
I don't know, man. I just, it was.
How do you not know? How do you not know if you're a felon?
I don't know.
Fallas, drop it. Thomas, don't worry about it. I say you get to keep the gun.
That is literally my gun. So you're gonna have to give it back to me at some point.
I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't have gotten yourself kidnapped, so we didn't have to give the gun to
Oh
Thomas.
my gosh! Look, mission accomplished. Look.
What did you accomplish?
First of all, we corroborated all the evidence. We escaped with Thomas. We saved a life type situation. And on top of that, we can show Drake. We'll be like, hey, look at this evidence.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
I'll
need the
give you
gun,
that.
though. They're gonna come for me, man. They're gonna come for me. I'm gonna need
Not
a
if
gun.
I peel their skins.
We can trade guns, but at some point, I am going to want that one. That is literally my gun. At some point, we're going to switch those out.
Okay,
Um,
Thomas, are you willing to trade guns? You will still have a gun at the end of this.
All right, Miss Gwen. If you, yeah.
Okay, you can take. I think you can take Tristan's for now. I don't think he'll be using it.
Shit, he's got 3.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
his long slide,
fair.
his Beretta, and
My
his-
guns, fuck off.
Tristan, you have more guns than hands. You need to
Yeah,
share.
and he's a corpse. Corpses don't have guns, so no.
What
I'm
the
keeping
fuck,
he's
the
man?
a
I'm
gun.
not a
lucky
corpse. What the
corpse.
fuck are you talking about? I'm standing right here, man.
Tristan, what the fuck?
Showing the C words. No corpses, cadavers, mausoleums.
I'm not a
Tristan.
fucking corpse.
People are trying to kill us. Can you please not be mean to the one person who's actually trying to help us? Or at least is not trying to kill us?
I wasn't mean. I was just an observation, but I guess if you want to take it that way.
An observation without tact is still meanness. Look, you're laying here in bed not doing shit, which I frankly don't blame you for considering you have a hole in your head, but someone needs to fill your shoes.
Yeah, and let Ironshirt do that. That's gonna go well.
What the fuck are you gonna do here, laying in bed with a hole in your head?
Someone bursts that door, shoot 'em.
Yeah, with
Watch
2 of
the
your 3
blood
guns.
spray. Yeah, I'll use all 3. Mag dump
pres-
one, drop it. Pull out the other one, mag dump with both guns. There, easy.
How does the morphine affect Tristan's reactions to things?
He has a plus 20 to sanity checks to repress an acute episode of a disorder. He has a minus 20 on all skills and stat tests.
Does he have any of the guns currently on his person, or did we remove those?
I have no idea. Yeah, I feel like they're probably removed from his body because it's not very comfortable to lie in bed with a bunch of guns strapped to your hips.
Okay,
And Blair was
I try
doing the taking care of, so.
can I try handcuffing him to the bed with my handcuffs?
You can. I don't know if Tristan will be happy with that, but you can.
Yeah, no. By the way, storyteller, look at channels, whatnot, people being dickheads.
What?
Huh?
Text channels, check them. Bunch
Oh,
of things
no.
need deleted.
Oh.
On Twitch?
No, in Discord.
Oh, I see.
They waited until you were occupied. Crazy.
Yes. Yes, I see. Okay, we had another one.
Oh, what the fuck?
That's easy
Yep.
to fix.
Apologies for interrupting, but I feel like that takes
Oh.
precedence.
Yeah, no, that does.
Whoa. What?
Burp. Done. Fixed it. It's all gone.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Anyway, back to the story.
Anyway, back to handcuffing Driston to the bed in a malicious manner.
Yes.
Get
all
your
right.
mind out of the fucking gutter.
No, it wasn't that. It's just I'm debating if Tristan would do something.
Your own wife. That's domestic.
Yeah, when you
abuse.
pulled a gun on me and said you'd shoot me. So yeah, I think we're even if I do something.
I'm supposed to be the aggressive one here. I'm shorter and blonde.
Roll
And I
unarmed
lost all-
combat. I'm gonna
Oh.
give you a plus 20 because
Oh,
no, I'm gonna
so-
give Dristan a minus 20 because he's lying down. So Dristan has a minus 40 in total to his unarmed combat.
Oh, minus 40?
Yeah. Minus 20 for the drugs and minus 20 because you're lying in bed.
Why not?
And Gwen can just roll her regular thing. She wins!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a scuffle here at the bed until there's a click click and Dristan is now restrained to the bed. At that point, the phone rings. It's Blair's special phone. She will pick it up. Ah, yes, Drake. And she's gonna go outside.
I'm gonna take one of Dristan's firearms and hand it to Ironshirt in exchange for the shotgun.
Okay, he'll come out from the washroom now because
Yep.
I feel like we've covered. You've convinced him to trust you.
Yeah, so we've got the shotgun back to Fallas, one of Dristan's firearms with Ironshirt. I think that's how the current layout is. And the rest of Dristan's firearms are not within grabby range.
Which one are we giving to Ironshirt? Beretta or Smith & Wesson or long slide?
Whichever one has the highest lethality and or damage.
So probably the Smith & Wesson, considering everything.
Yeah, I can't see the stats, so I'm just
I
gonna
think
have
it's
to...
actually the Beretta because it has listed toggle lethality.
If
guess
he
you can-
has my fucking long sides with silver hollow points, Tristan is going to be fucking livid.
Wait, is the Beretta like one of the three burst ones with the lethality on it? That's sick.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah,
Okay,
hold on,
so...
Baby
Actually,
right there.
Actually, let me borrow that one. You can have.
Yeah,
you can
this
hold
is
it.
my baby, fuck you.
You already borrowed it once. I gave it to you.
I didn't. You
And
let me
then-
borrow the long slide that one time. I gave it back, but yeah, I didn't realize that the Beretta had a burst on it.
Oh,
You
never
have a
mind. The long
burst
side's what I
on-
care
You have a
about.
burst on the 6 hour as well, actually.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wait, I've got lethality on the 6 hour.
Yeah, if you fire 3-round bursts. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, okay. Minus on that, or is it just lethality? With, what is it? 10, 15%?
10.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay.
Let's see. Burst. Bursty burst. Where is the burst? Page 56 is the burst. It doesn't say that you get any negative for firing a burst. Let's see now. Yeah, no, it doesn't say anything like that. It's just,
Very cool.
yeah. Anyway, as you're talking about guns and things like that, Blair will come back into the room and she's looking over all of you, including Thomas. So she says, I just had a conversation with Drake. He is going to send reinforcements, or rather A-Cell is sending people out to help us out. Our mission objectives have changed a little bit. We're still on the job for investigating the biological anomaly, but right now we know two things. One, they're producing that anomaly in great quantities at the ABC plant, right?
Yes.
We also know that they're shipping it by train away from the US. So this shit has gone international.
Yeah.
So we have two jobs right now. We need to shut down the production and destroy all the evidence of the production. And two, we need to identify the buyers, the people who are buying this stuff from wherever. And since there's a lot of heat going on right now around the ABC plant because of everything that's happened, the chances that we will get to destroy the plant is very limited. Which is why A cell is calling in another cell. H cell is on its way. Maybe they'll have better luck sneaking in and doing the job because their faces aren't recognizable. Our job will be to get out to the ABC plant under cover of darkness tonight and set up another scouting position, reconnaissance position, where we can keep watching them. And I know half of us are really hurt and in pain, but we should get H cell up here within 24, 36 hours. And then they can take over the field op and we can hang back a bit.
Okay.
Sound good to everyone?
Yep. One question though. Are the police looking for Morgan and Fallas as well, or just us?
No, they're looking for everyone.
Okay, yeah, we're all screwed.
Fallas and Morgan, they're wanted for murder.
Oh, they're wanted for murder. Okay, sorry. I thought we were the ones wanted for murder.
Now, Fallas and Morgan are wanted for murder of staff, security personnel inside the compound.
Or like self-defense, but yeah, okay.
You know how the company is going to spin it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. How much law does Blair have? None. Okay. Does anyone in this group have any law at all?
I'm a federal law enforcement agent, so I have a 30.
Yay. You're all supposed to be federal law enforcement agents.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't know the nitty-gritties of it, Fallas, but you were unauthorized on private property. You can't claim self-defense because you were on their property. As far as they're gonna have super high-powered lawyers and the whole 9 yards. If this ever enters a courtroom, your career in the FBI is probably done. So, there's that.
Oof.
But, yeah, apparently they have your likenesses. They don't have pictures of you, but they have, like, sketches of you circulating among the tribal police right now. As for the rest of the group, Gwen and Blair are not wanted for murder, but likenesses of Gwen and Blair are circulated in connection with the aggravated assault on ABC guards. The tribal police is apparently connecting these events. So if they find one of us, they're gonna assume that we're all in on it, I guess, says Blair. But there's no murder charge hanging on me and Gwen. We are just... It's aggravated assault, I think. Yeah.
The end of the world.
Anyway, so with this all in mind, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful to try and trek our way back out to the ABC plant and put up some kind of observation post. We can see who's coming and going. If we can just get through the picket lines and avoid police patrols, we're gonna be okay, I think.
How do they expect us to do that if our faces are all over town in connection with murder and aggravated assault?
I haven't figured that out yet, says Blair.
It just... I don't know. I feel like we should stay put until A-Cell gets here.
A-Cell isn't going, but...
No, sorry, not A-Cell, H-Cell.
Obviously, it's not ideal, but if you want to sit back again, we can patch me up and I'll try to go out there with a walkie-talkie.
Drake was pretty stern on at least one of us going out there to be eyes and ears, because he doesn't want anyone to escape while we don't have eyes on the facility.
We
The
could
buyer
send-
is so important.
We could send Driston, since he's not wanted for either murder or aggravated assault. They
He
don't.
might be.
They don't have his face. Just Blair and I's.
So
Right.
I took some damage when we were leaving from the gate. Is it possible to do first aid on me since I haven't had it done on me today?
Absolutely. Here we go. First aid. And I roll amazing. You took 1 point of damage, right?
Yeah.
So you get that point back.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah, I can see. She's looking over you. Yeah, I can see how that hurts. It's just a bruise, and she's gonna do some spraying to like a cold spray to chill the area, and then maybe use some Voltaren to just for the sore muscles, and so on and so forth. It's gonna feel better. First aid has been attempted.
But yeah, I can go out there at night with some binoculars and just approach on foot. Don't even worry about approaching on the gravel. Just as soon as it gets dark, I'll just try to find a path near some woods or upriver somewhere. And I can approach that way and just get picked up later, keep in touch via that radio.
So you're gonna try to get to the ABC plant, Fallas?
We're having a discussion right now. I'm not physically
right.
doing that.
Yeah. If we look at our skill sets here for our various agents, and Thomas is just sitting there and shuddering and like, I'm not going back there, I'm never going back there. Oh my God. Like, no, I'm not going back there. Jesus Christ. That's on a loop from him. Blair has a little bit of survival. Driston has all the survival. And Morgan does as well. So the best two agents for going out there and being able to, if you're going to go on a cross-country trek somehow, which seems to be what you're saying, the best people for doing that would be Driston and Morgan, because let's face it, nobody else has any survival or navigation skill worth much.
Navigation shouldn't be too big of a deal if you just stay within sight of the river and just keep it on your left and approach the site. But ultimately, yeah.
On the other hand, you could always argue that you only need the one person who is good at the survival bit to keep your tracks hidden and create a nice observation post that is nicely camouflaged. The tricky part is, of course, to get to the place in question. Once you're off the roads, that makes your life easier, right? But if we're looking at a map of Montana, do I have a Montana map at all? I do not have a Montana map available for you guys. Sad. I have a couple of city maps, but that doesn't help us at all. This is Great Falls and Missoula, which are not where we're looking for. So, right now you are outside of the Blackfeet Reservation, right? Let's see. I can't type. There we go. Okay, so Browning, Montana. Oh, boom. Blackfeet Reservation. Pretty big. To get to... Okay. Just off the reservation is half an hour by car. And then you'd have another 30 kilometers or so north of the reservation to get to the actual plant. you will probably want to go... How long was that again? That is 30 miles. So in total... It's going to be hard. You could trek it on foot from this place right now where you are, but you're not going to make it to the ABC plant before nightfall. That's not going to happen. It's because it's like a good day's march plus to get there.
I said initially we should probably drive and have somebody get dropped off this close so it could
Exactly.
just be an approach to the woods.
Yeah.
They don't have to walk from here.
That makes sense. So, who's gonna drive ya? Drive y'all.
I think we failed every single check it takes to get to the actual like dirt road. So as long as it's just like along the roads, no, honestly, it probably shouldn't be any of us because there's going to be checkpoints in and out.
There is gonna be checkpoints in and out.
I have a -20 to everything at the moment, so definitely not me.
I haven't marked you as exhausted. Oh, it's because of your meds. Yeah. Yeah, you should.
I've
probably-
been out here a week at this point, and so what started off pretty stubbly has probably grown into some decent coverage.
Mhm.
Can I just shave like everything but the mustache just to change the basic jawline up?
You could try. You could try. I can be a mean person and ask you to roll a disguise check.
Yeah.
I'll put my hair down.
Gwyn has a pretty decent disguise. Not decent, but she has a disguise check, and so does Morrigan.
Yeah,
strangely.
Joe.
Yeah, I like looking older than I am.
All right, let's go. Disguise checks for everyone, or at least for one person. Let's see how well it goes. Might as well.
So sorry, Gwen's doing our stylist stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ooh.
Morrigan definitely isn't.
Well,
But Gwyn succeeds in doing a disguise check. So yeah, there we go. Fallas is now the face of the party and has had... If we give him a wig and shave his beard and mustache, that's quite the bit of a change, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe add a little bit of foundation like here and there, or concealer just to hide the like dark circles under the eyes. Like
What
a little bit of
dark circles?
eyeshadow on the brows to darken them.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Just
good
a-
enough to,
yeah.
And given that it's nighttime, and you would be aware of this because of police procedures, they only have so many units, right? This is a small reservation. They can't have that many deputies. And it's been a major situation at the ABC plant, so they're gonna have some people there, and some people trying to cover various roads. But how far out of the Blackfeet Reservation they could have these, that's anyone's guess. So, where are we putting the rest of the people? Are we stealing like a van? Or are we putting everybody underneath the back seat or in the trunk or something? Because we can have more than one person driving out there. And what are we doing?
Yeah, whoever's going should be essentially hiding, whether in the backseat, trunk, van, however they need to do it.
Yeah. And what are we doing with Thomas?
Taking him with us.
I don't think we're all going, are we?
Are we all
Well, I
going?
don't think he should be left home alone.
Are we all going?
I don't think all of us should.
I'm tied to a bed, so no, I assume I'm not.
I. So we're doing like a cross-country thing.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna mount up to.
At most, hopefully like an hour and a half hike.
Oh yeah, no, I should go in.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I know you've got pretty good stealth, and it sounds like survival too. So, if Tristan's tied up, having you out there sounds good.
I
I
got
am not
70 summer
necessarily.
survival.
Does anybody else have a decent drive skill, including
I
Blair?
got
Blair has a 21. And I think that's one of the
Same.
better drive skills in this. Yeah,
Okay.
Fallas has the best drive
Yeah.
skill. There's no doubt about that.
And then I've got the 50, so hopefully we shouldn't have to roll a drive check. Like, worst case scenario, it would probably be better if I'm not stuck in the woods and we have to get back in the car somewhere. But if you would like to have me out there, I've got decent skills to help.
So it sounds like we're splitting the team again between the same constellations here, with Fallas and Morgan heading out towards the ABC plant and the rest of you just laying low in a motel. Is that it? Because Gwyn doesn't want to leave Thomas, and Blair doesn't know how to drive well enough.
And I'm blitz out of my fucking mind,
Oh, so it's
so
just
I
us
can't do
again.
anything.
The morphine will let go during the day, because it's going to dissipate.
At least for now,
For now,
he's
you're
blitzed and can't do shit.
Yeah, if you're bringing Thomas with you, that is a problem. If you're not bringing Thomas with you, that is also a problem. Blair, I think I can't do much for Dristan and Gwyn here, and if there's any trouble out there, you might need my expertise, and she just points to the medical bag, because you look rough, both of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Gwen, if you want to take care of your children here in the motel room.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.
You even have some first aid, Gwyn.
Yeah. And I hate the
In the single
realization that
digits.
Tristan is now, yeah, the kid. So.
Yeah, his
Oh, hey,
mind.
also, it's been a day. Did we get any word on Dwight? I'm not going to show up, but there's going to be a whole protest of the Berkeley students, right?
Oh shit, yeah. What's Dwight up to? Fuck.
You have no idea.
Oh, fuck. So I guess if you see a bunch of students there, you might be able to blend in. Maybe.
I was joking, though, but should I actually be expecting a protest at this? Did we set that up?
I think we did. I think we did.
The protest would be around like Monday or Tuesday, something like that, Gwyn.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's still Saturday.
Okay, cool. Neato, let's drive to the woods.
You and me again.
My initial disguise idea was big mustache and a cowboy hat, and maybe if I'm chewing gum, that'll change my jawline enough.
Yeah, why not? Stetson
mean,
hats
hey.
are... This is Montana. Everybody has a Stetson out here. So you would blend right in. Long story short, my friends, you are going to drive, and I'm going to set this till 4 a.m. by the time you finally get on the road again. Obviously, Morgan and Fallas and Blair, you're all starting to get very tired. It's been a long night. It's been a long night after a long day. But you are going to get to... You're driving on the night roads. There is a road checkpoint with a couple of quite bleary-eyed deputies who are looking at you, and they want to have license and registration and stuff, and they want to just check in on what's going on here, but they check into the car, and they notice that Fallas, in fact, does not look like the guy they're looking for. And they look at Morgan and I get Blair. I don't know. You're hiding under a couch or something in the trunk, maybe. They're just going to wave you through, Fallas, thanks to that successful disguise. And after that, it's really just up to, by the time dawn will slowly come along, it's up to Morgan to navigate and survival for you to make a nice new observation post on the prairies.
All right.
You're back
Roll
there
survival?
again. How does it feel? Do we have...
Well, at least they're not
do we have-
inside that wretched place again, so...
Oh,
Roll survival?
shouldn't- Like, Drake hasn't said that you have to go in. Drake just wants you watching the place. But I would like Morgan to roll navigation and survival, please. Navigation to find
Okay.
the right spot in a timely manner, and survival to put up a good observation post that is not easily noticeable from far away?
No. And
This is going great, you guys. Apparently, Blair has to bail you out, all out.
Nice.
oh, thank gosh.
But not in terms of survival. So, your observation post is nowhere near as well hidden as you would like it to be. I'm guessing we're putting this observation post at the same distance as before from the plant, so you can look in with binoculars, and of course, Fallas, you have your SIGINT equipment, right?
Yeah, the only stuff that I would have brought into the or inside the building would have been the wireless bugs that I was planning on planting,
Yeah.
the code roller to get past the security locks, and then a disposable camera for when we got in Lab 6.
Yep, so yeah, your other stuff is still out here. From which direction do you want this observation post to be set up? East, west, south? Last time I think you were on the, west side?
Then presuming there's a tree line, let's have the southeast side.
There's no tree lines in Montana.
Fair enough.
Maybe there are, but that's up to towards the mountains. You're on the flatlands here, I think. Are we? Let me consult my map. I can consult the map like the best of them. Or can I? I don't know.
Then actually, I think the best play would probably be the northwest, because that's the closest one to Sapphire. So we'll be able to see if any weird stuff's going. No, actually, we should be on the east side. That way we can see the train easier.
I was wrong. There is a tree line here. At least along the road. Oh my god, there are trees here. What is this kind of place? Said the Albertan with shock in his voice. I guess it's because it's close to the river and everything.
Plus 20 to survival for tree coverage.
Potentially, yeah. Okay, it's not just trees. Okay, now I feel better. There's. Okay, so there's gonna be mostly plains, and then there are some tree stands around creeks and whatnot. So if we choose one of those, then yes, plus 20, and then we end up with an actual success on Morrigan's survival check, don't we? Because we use the trees, don't we? All right, so you are all set up. It is now probably 9 in the morning, and because you've been awake and active for all this time, I am going to be cruel and say that you're all exhausted, because that makes sense to me.
Quick question. I am already down 2 will points from when I tried to push sanity loss on my poor twin brother.
Yeah.
Did I regain one of those at any point when I slept?
Oh yeah, you would have regained a d6.
Okay. Then I will roll the d6 currently, because my plan is to use another d6 by using stimulants to stay up.
Oh.
If I'm exhausted, I'm going to try and counterbalance that.
Very well. Let's go.
Okay, so this is the d6 to regain, so I'm back at my total.
Yeah.
And I am going to do some legal narcotics, or just cigarettes or whatever. And that should at least do me for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then as a result, that will cost me 5 will points. Okay.
Yay.
Would have been nice to roll that the other way, but whatever.
Yep.
Here we are.
That's life.
Cool.
So, you are not currently exhausted. You are just running on drugs and stimulants and things like that. Blair will go to bed. The moment the tents are up, she's just gonna flop down in there. And then it's gonna be up to Morgan and Fallas to divide the watch between them. As you are doing this, and the sun is coming up, because it's September 12th, I can tell you that the place looks like a kicked over beehive. Down by the guard posts here, there's going to be a post that you can see at least 2 tribal police trucks standing around. There's going to be at least 2 patrols of police officers. And other than you can see the wrecked gate, your work. You can see police tape here and there. You can see probably plainclothes, tribal police working together with their constables and ABC security, whatever's left of ABC security at this point. There's just this strong atmosphere of people being on their guard. They're definitely treating it as an active crime scene, and they're working through things. You didn't kill anyone out in the open, but you can only imagine that there will be, like, police tape and markings inside the administrative building where you did kill people. And, yeah, it's ongoing. They're on the case. The tribal police is on the case. With a SIG-in check, you could always listen into the conversations, Fallas.
That sounds like something that is both in character and within my capabilities.
Yes, it does.
By Jove, I've done it.
Do we have your listening equipment at Turner's office again?
I was not able to leave them for some reason.
No,
I failed
I'm
the
thinking
check.
your laser pointer.
Oh, no, we still have the laser pointer out here. I can use that for the office.
Yeah, exactly. So you are going to have your hidden spot in a place where you have a line of sight to the office. That makes sense to me. While we're asking all these things, what's going on in a certain motel room where the rest of y'all are?
My children, one of them's in timeout and the other still has his firearm. So I think I've kept the situation under control.
Gotta make compromises with childcare.
Yeah, only one can have a firearm at a time.
Tristan is just visibly pissed, but he's not saying shit.
As he should. He should stay quiet, like a good husband. Seen and not heard.
Seen and not heard. Tristan
Yes.
is not feeling good. Yeah, you're not going to get your morphine topped up, are you?
Can I give him an
Nope.
ibuprofen?
You can
So
absolutely
on top
give him
of
ibuprofen.
being fucking pissed, he also has a killer headache.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is Tristan going to try to stay awake here, or are we falling back to sleep? Because
There's literally nothing he can do. He doesn't really care about anything anymore, and he's just gonna go to bed.
sleeping. Okay. That makes sense. And Gwyn, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna stay up, just in case.
Alright. You know what happens then? Exhaustion!
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Also, roll a d6 for willpower points spent for staying up for too long. Boom! That's what we want to see.
Yeesh.
Ouch.
It's been a long op, hasn't it?
Yeah, I just want to
Oh
go
my
home.
gosh. I just want to go to federal prison.
Federal prison is much better than this.
Look at Montana.
At least there won't be any zombies around. Methods, yes. Zombies, no. Gwyn is asleep, snoring deeply in the bed next to you. Thomas is not asleep because of reasons. Maybe he's just has that much adrenaline in his body. Maybe zombies don't sleep. Who knows? But at least he's sitting down now in the corner of the room and just staring apathetically at the wall or the ceiling or, I don't know, the light fixtures. He's gonna ask you questions like, who are you? Who are you really? Are you like police? What are you?
We are part of an agency called Delta Green. We're supposed to investigate the unnatural and keep it away from civilians.
What the fuck is unnatural? He says.
I keep asking myself that every day. It's something that a surface... Look, I don't know. I really don't know. But it's something that they're scared will send the general public into a tizzy if they learn about it.
So you're doing like cover-ups and shit?
Yeah. Yeah, there was an op before this where we had to go to... It was Vermont, that was the state. And we had to investigate a mountain where people kept going missing. Yeah, it turns out they were just becoming, I don't know, indestructible, blood-hungry. We found one guy, so we had to...
That's just PCP, man.
Yeah, this just seems like a run-of-the-mill medical company, honestly.
What?
They classified
There's nothing run-of-the-mill of... What's he talking about? They're doing... Did you see Jake? You didn't see Jake.
No, I believe you. It's just that medical
chopped up
companies
in little pieces, and his head was still, like, blinking, and his mouth was moving, but he didn't have any neck it was attached to, and there's nothing... What... It's kind of fucked up, that's what it is. It's completely fucked up.
Yeah.
Are you telling me every medical company's doing this kind of shit?
Yeah.
I'm never taking a fucking med again in my life.
Yeah, that's fair. But, yeah, you usually get into this organization by having some sort of supernatural experience beforehand.
The fuck do you mean by supernatural fucking experience? Just making fucking sense.
It's something unnatural that happens that they didn't stop before it got out into the public. Like, for me, I worked in a lab where they examined this material called protomatter that could... It was like a parasite in that it would take over one's body, but it could heal wounds in a flash. It also didn't help that I had a supernatural rock that my mom sent me. That was another issue, but yeah.
You don't make a lot of sense, girl.
Yeah, I've found that I generally have stopped making sense ever since I joined this.
You just... What, are you like the good guys or the bad guys?
I don't know. I'm trying to be a good person, but it sometimes feels like the ops we go on aren't always the most moral.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that is... Are you gonna order in food or something in the motel?
I don't know if I want to risk it. Should I try disguising myself before trying to order something?
You can try.
Because I just don't want to pick up food when looking like myself.
I understand that, yeah. Your disguise is now terrible because of your exhaustion.
Yeah. I Yeah, blue eyeshadows just never worked, so I'm just not ordering anything in.
Alright then. Meanwhile, in a different part of the world, you're sitting there in the motel room. It would take you, what, an hour and a half to get to the ABC plant from here? Or for them to get to you from the ABC plant, more accurately put, because of course they would have to drive. Not an hour and a half. Yeah, make it an hour and a half because they have to get to the vehicle and then drive. So, yeah. Anyway, just to keep track of where everybody is in the world. But out here in the prairies, where Morgan and Fallas are listening into things yet again. Did we have... So, Blair went to bed. We said that. Morgan, have you gone to bed or not? Or exhausted? Fallas is obviously gonna force himself to be awake for the next 6 hours or so.
Awake, and I'm going to bed. I have not had my coffee yet.
This is true. So, bedtime it is. Alright. So you're gonna be alone here for 6 hours, Fallas. Watching the plant. Listening in. I'm doing calculations in my head, and you can all tell that it's going really fast.
Yep. Maybe I can send you some of the, like, calculation energy. I'm doing some math homework right now.
Oh no, you're not supposed to do math homework now. You're supposed to... She's asleep. No, she's not asleep. She's awake because she has to watch out for Thomas Ironshirt.
Multitasking.
You are multitasking. Fallas, you're awake. And you're listening into things here. There's going to be a random amount of radio traffic for you to tap into here. Like, it's on the radio, you have keyed into the radio, and sometimes it's coming from people around here, and sometimes it's coming from further away because you are on the police network. Detective to dispatch, we need photos of suspects that ABCs say are the suspects. Also want written statements from any ABC guard who witnessed the killings. So that's one comment that's coming through the air. The dispatch is answering. Supervisor says ABC will provide packets at the liaison point. No radio transmission. A little bit later, dispatch. Advise. Active investigation. No threat to public. Refer media to ABC Communications. Unit 7B here. 7B update. One wounded guard is asking for a statement, but ABC Council is trying to shut him down. He keeps saying they came out in uniforms. 7B, take the statement anyway. If Council interferes, note it. Do not get into a fight. Detective to dispatch. One of the deceased is on site in ABC custody. They're refusing outside coroner access due to contamination risk. They want to handle remains internally, which is making it hard for me to get proper autopsy done here with a medical examiner. Copy that. Supervisor advised. Units, if contacted by ABC Security, do not accept custody transfer on site without superior approval. Repeat, no custody transfers. Detective to dispatch. ABC liaison insists suspects are outside activists and want us to focus on arrests, not plant access. I'm requesting a formal scene access request in writing. Copy that, says dispatch. Supervisor concurs. Put it in writing. So that's just some of the communication that's coming over the police radio for you fellas. But there's more! Listening into Turner's office, as it were. I don't care. You can hear Turner speaking. I don't care what they're calling it in town. In here, it's homicide and burglary. That's it. Don't say any other words. Sir, they rammed the gate, sir. It's burglary. It's stolen property. It's murder. You keep it tribal and you keep it small. Sir, tribal is asking for scene access. They get there, escorted. They see what we show them, nobody wonders, and put a man on Hall B. Maintenance corridor, now. Turner's having a conversation with... There's a lot of people going into Turner's office today. There's some other person in there in a suit as well. Hard to see from the distance. You have binoculars, but they're all office attire. And Turner is saying things like, use the script. Security incident, active investigation, no threat to the public. If anyone asks how many, you tell them we're still verifying. Sir, families are going to demand to see contamination protocols, strongly recommended restricted viewing. Make it sound like we're protecting them. And the ones we're keeping on site? Phones restricted for safety. We'll update. Keep them calm. Keep them inside. A little bit later. Alright, Zeiss, what do you got for me? If you don't stabilize the remaining samples today, they're useless. The integrity is... Peter, I can't hear about integrity while my gate is hanging off its hinges. This is bigger than a gate, sir. Matre's notes are gone. The data is fragmented. If we lose the batch records, you will give me something I can point at. Something that says progress. I don't care if it's a graph you drew with a crayon. Crisp has been hovering around medical. Crisp is not your problem. The problem is whoever is outside my fence with uniforms. And so it goes, basically. Fallas, I want you to roll a human check as you're listening to all this.
Sorry, I stepped away to put up some groceries. Could you roll that one for me, please?
Of course.
I'd make it a good one if you wouldn't mind.
I made it a good enough one, which is, this case, is a success. It is very clear to you as you're listening to all this traffic that Turner is in an absolute panic mode. You can even hear him slurring every once in a while. You don't know if he has started to take to the bottle or if he is just that level of exhausted. It could be either or both. But the fraying of his voice, this is a man who is going to unravel if more bad stuff happens to him. He is clinging to control at this stage. Tribal police are willing to accommodate to a point, and that point is rapidly approaching. Because there's just been too much, these are tribal community members who are working here, and even though it's the biggest employer in town, nobody's going to countenance a whole bunch of locals coming home in body bags from this place. They are happy to get a good steady income from this place and maybe look between the fingers look away if there's some federal laws that are not exactly held up and things like that. They don't care too much about that, apparently, and certainly more amenable to such shenanigans if there's bribes attached to it. But if community members start coming home in body bags, that's going to shift things really fast. But so far, it hasn't yet, because right now they can blame it all on you guys. 6 hours having passed during this day, which means that Blair and Morgan have had proper sleep, are no longer exhausted. How does that feel? Fallas, yeah, you're just operating on... Do you want to have a nap?
That's fair. If Morgan wants to take over watch for a couple hours while I get some sleep,
Yeah, I'll
just to get
watch.
me out of exhaustion, that's fine too. I mean,
I'll
Blair will
watch.
probably be up at that point.
Makes sense. So Fallas will go to sleep. It's been a while since you had some sleep, so it's time, isn't it? In the motel room, Tristan and Gwyn had sleep. You're awake. No, Gwyn didn't have sleep, but Tristan had. You do not count as exhausted. And
Yippee.
you are not completely drugged out of your mind anymore.
Still have a raging headache, though.
Yeah. And when you wake up and Thomas again, roll sanity. Yes,
Yep,
I'm
and
gonna
I
do this to
don't
you all the time.
Yep, and I don't have my plus 20 anymore, so... Yippee.
Roll a
Fail.
d6. Oh my god. This is what you're exposing your husband to, by the way, Gwyn. By keeping this dead body around,
Yes.
your husband is slowly but surely losing his mind.
So am I. We'll go crazy together.
Apparently. Yeah, OCD is setting in again, Tristan. OCD.
Yep, and I can't even get off the bed, so I'm just sitting there in silent rage, just not even looking or talking to
mean, you
Sarah or trying to look at the fucking corpse.
That makes sense. You can reorganize things on the bedside table. That's what you can do.
I think what he's trying to do is like just start scratching his leg as like his tick, if that's fair to you. Like to a point where it almost starts drawing blood.
Ugh.
I'll get the other handcuff, don't worry.
Gwyn, why don't you roll some human?
Why?
Because I'm evil.
Aw. Oh no!
You have no idea of how Tristan feels. It completely passes you by, because by now you're super tired and exhausted, and I guess for now you are just talking to Thomas about all sorts of, I don't know, shenanigans, nonsense, who knows? Babbling in general about your entire life. I don't know if you know about half of the things you've told him so far, because you're slowly getting delirious, but...
I think the Cooter Mobile may have come up in conversation at some point.
Thomas, it's just
Oh.
that you're all fucked. You're all so fucked. This is all so fucked up. How the fuck am I ever getting out of here? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Fuck. Where's Lynn? Where's Lynn? Do we know where Lynn is? We need Lynn. She wasn't at her trailer. She must be at the plant. Oh my god. If they know that me and Lynn, then they got Lynn. What are they doing to Lynn right now? We need to go there. We need to get Lynn out. Shit. And now he starts pacing again. I'm gonna go get Lynn. That's what I'm gonna do.
Wait, no, wait. We've got backups coming.
They're
If
backups.
But
You don't know what they'll do to her. They'll pump her full of that shit, and then she's gonna be on the table, and they're gonna take off her arms and legs and head and start digging around in her, and she's gonna be destroyed, just like Jake.
you killed the scientist who did this to Jake.
But there's more scientists, man. There's more scientists.
Are you sure they didn't kill all of them?
No, I don't know. I only killed one. I killed someone. I fucking killed someone. I've never killed anyone in my life. I killed someone. I killed someone. How can I kill someone? But they were bad. They had it coming. I had to do it for Jake, you know? What they were doing to Jake, man. This is... I don't even know. Jesus fucking Christ. What are we doing?
Hear me out, man. The people who are coming have a stronger ability to do harm to the ABC plant than you or I alone. They don't know that Lynn and you are connected.
They're coming.
And storming in there will only make that more obvious. I know you hate to sit by and watch someone you love suffer. Trust me, I do too. But it...
Obviously fucking not.
Oh, shut up! I feel bad on the inside.
Sure.
I want Dristan and Gwen roll another human check. This is
That was out of
for-
character, by the way.
Yeah. This is Gwen's other one is for I figured it would be like that. Justin, why don't you roll a human check? Because you are in fact awake, even though you are twitchy and want to make sure that everything is in its right place. That fold in the blanket just has to be straightened out properly. Just
Nope.
has to be. Yeah, no. You have no mental
I
capacity
do
to pay
not
attention
care
to
for
anyone
the
else.
conversations they're having. I'm just idly scratching at my leg.
And trying to keep the blanket just perfect. That's the necessary thing here. Can you imagine sitting in a motel room, with these three for an entire day? I think cabin fever doesn't even begin to describe it, does it?
I think maybe more like cabin madness.
Yeah, that is probably a better way to describe it. Meanwhile, out in the prairies, Morgan, Blair is gonna be awake by now. Fallas is taking his turn sleeping. You're not very good at operating SIGINT equipment, are you, Morgan? You can't actually listen in to any of the stuff. Too bad. What you can see through the binoculars, though... Let's see. Lunch hour doesn't really feel like lunch hour, if you will. No, you don't see the lunch hour. You wake up after that. But sitting there with the binoculars, watching the plant, there is no smoke coming out from the security annex anymore. They definitely put out that fire a good long while ago. Good for them. You can still see tribal police having a unit by the gate. You can see whatever is left of the security there. The security annex is definitely still a very active spot. You can see that there's repair work going on there. Work lights are up even in the daylight. There's a maintenance truck parked at an angle that... Why don't we go for your military science? Let's go. You have that
Oh,
in
yeah.
spades.
I've been
You're
using
like-
that a lot these
Yeah,
days.
you have. And it's going to help you. Isn't that interesting? They have put the trucks, the maintenance trucks, and the trailer trucks that come with equipment and spare parts. They have put them at an angle that will block sight lines so that the tribal police from their position by the gate will not be able to see what's going on behind the repairs. You can make out some electricians. They're moving heavy, boxy pieces of equipment on dollies. Can't really exactly make out what type of stuff this is. It's just like heavy boxes, really. ABC guards are hovering nearby with that unmistakable "you are not allowed to be curious" type of posture. Whenever tribal police are coming into the compound, they are escorted by 2 ABC guards. Let's see. So the gate posture hardens a bit. They are using more time to check vehicles. More guards are visible at once. Fewer casual entries and exits. Interior doors that used to be pass-throughs act like checkpoints. They have guards posted at specific building entrances instead of wandering. In your mind, they are concentrating what limited manpower they have to where it matters. So fewer patrols, more choke points, basically. That's what you can tell from all of this. Fallas has been asleep for a couple of hours now. Morgan.
Yes.
The monotony here, you've seen some traffic coming back and forth along the road, the access road to the main road. It's been trucks, it's been jeeps, it's been 4x4s, not just pickup trucks, but also like trucks with the proper tarp on the back or and so on. Maybe even trucks that are pulling trailers in here with spare parts or whatever is being ordered to repair the damage that has been caused. What is your... Yeah, you don't even have any law skill. But you do have a little bit of forensics. Why don't you roll your forensics check, Morgan, as you're watching this?
Forensics. Okay. What?
Boom!
What? How?
That is what we like to see.
How on earth?
Just judging by movements, not any listening devices or what have you, just judging by movements, you can tell that the tribal police, they either do not have access to a proper forensics team, like CSI, crime scene investigator team that can come in with the white coats and start doing a proper analysis of the crime scene and process evidence and spray the luminol and mark off where all the bullet casings have ended up and so on and so forth. You haven't seen a single sign of no such white coveralls at all so far. And you also see that there's still escorts from... So it seems to you that whatever tribal police wants to work with, Turner is obstructing the investigation very effectively by saying contaminants or something like that. You heard the stuff that Fallas was... No, you didn't, because you were asleep. But Fallas probably wrote down some notes and have some recordings on a tape deck. Yeah.
I would have taken notes and done a quick briefing. And also the radio probably still on the right channel.
Yeah. So you will be able to just listen in to some of that radio conversation. And so far, they're definitely managing to block the locals from coming in here. So good for Turner. At least he's stalling them. We don't know how long he'll be able to stall them, but for now he's been doing that. This is a Saturday. Monday should be when the next shipment is leaving, because that's what you saw, right? You will hear over the radio, because Fallas set it up. There's this talk, and through the listening device that you have on Turner's office. And someone is saying, we got tribal units asking why we're still restricting access. We got a detective here who's pushing for full scene control. And you can hear Turner's voice. He doesn't get full control. He gets what we give him. And the escapees, dispatch wants confirmation on charges. Homicide, burglary, armed assault. That's it. No special labels, no grandstanding. If anyone says any T-word, I want it corrected immediately. A gate crew wants permission for hard stop on all vehicles. Yeah, sure, do it quietly. No rifles on the road. No roadblock theatrics. Did you keep it looking like heightened security, not martial law and stuff? Someone else is on the line a little bit later. Sir, Sapphire line is stable, but the escort requirements are slowing movement. The other units want to resume. No. Sapphire stays hot. Everything else stays on hold. That's going to draw attention internally, sir. Let it. I want fewer people walking around, fewer doors opening, fewer opportunities, damn it! Shipping asked if we should notify the South American account about potential delays. There are no delays! Ugh! Click. And so it goes until it's evening time, Morgan. It's about 5-ish p.m. on this day, Saturday, September 12th. When eventually you're going to hear and definitely see the a helicopter is approaching the ABC plant. And it's quite the sight to see as it is approaching the ABC plant. As it has a helipad, obviously, right? We know that.
Is H-Cell an attack helicopter?
Maybe. The helipad is right over here. So, it has the equipment for it. It's a civilian-looking helicopter. Maybe one of those charters. Who knows? It doesn't have ABC company logo on it. It doesn't have police markings on it. And as it comes down towards the plant, it's going to go circling around the plant once. And then it's going to stop hovering above the helipad and slowly but surely touch down. And people on the ground are reacting, obviously. Some guards are drifting towards the helipad in pairs. An ABC truck is rolling into position as a loose barricade. A cluster of tribal officers are being subtly pushed back by an escort who suddenly decides that they need to stage over there instead. The pad gets cleared in that tense, hurried way that says that nobody feels in charge. They are a bit confused by all this. Why don't we have Morgan roll a human check? If you don't pick up on it, Blair certainly does.
Oh. That was close.
That was close. I'm gonna allow it because Blair is right there to help you out a little bit. So, yeah, it's the slow, steady rotor thump, the dark shape coming in. Makes one short, efficient approach. Paint looks plain, utilitarian. The pilot flares a little bit late. The skids hit the pad hard enough to kick a ring of dust out from under it. The doors open, and the rotors are still biting in the air. The helicopter is still settling when men start moving out. These men are not dressed like ABC security. You can see the difference. They have suits, black shades. They have caps, like baseball caps. They have big duffel bags. They carry themselves as men with complete and utter command. Heads up, shoulders squared, discipline. And they come out in a practice sequence. One steps down and immediately scans the perimeter. Another pulls a hard case out and keeps it closed. A third is hanging back at the doors for a beat, like he's guarding the exit rather than arriving. And then comes the obvious leader of this little group. He doesn't hurry like a subordinate. He doesn't swagger like a tourist. He steps onto the pad like it's already his. Through the glass, you catch small details that feel wrong for rural Montana. The cut of his jacket, the stiffness of his posture, the way he doesn't look around to take it in. He looks around to assess threats and routes, perhaps. Game recognizes game, Morgan. He is... You are from Special Forces, right? Spec Ops. Yeah.
Yep.
He has that bearing about him. Special Forces guy. Like, the way he is looking at things, his eyes, you can't see where his eyes are going, but you can see where his sunglasses are going. And they're going to, okay, are there snipers on the roofs? Where are the closest escape routes? Where are the possible barriers that an enemy can hide behind? All of that type of analysis.
Interesting.
One of his men raises something to his mouth that isn't a radio handset. It's more the posture of someone speaking into a microphone on a collar or compact comms rig. And another turns away a little bit, and you see the telltale "I'm making a call" stance, head dipped, hand up, body angled to shield the device from eyes. The man's eyes are looking towards the annex, which of course has all the trucks and the broken sight lines, so he can't see the annex clearly here. And you can see that to his ear is a sat phone. He's talking to someone. Reactions, Morgan.
This that H cell has been working. Oh, is this on? Okay. Is this like them guys, them reserve guys, them reinforcement guys? Or is these people Turner hired?
Roll an intelligence check, please.
If I fail this, I'm gonna just assume these are people Turner hired. I didn't.
That's a success.
Okay.
In your mind, this cannot be H-Cell. You have no idea how many people H-Cell would bring, but normally in Delta Green, how many are you? 3 to 4? These are too many people, just off the... That's the first. Second, they're all men. There isn't a woman among them. And that's not Delta Greeny. These guys look like a bunch of Navy SEALs in civilian clothes. Or corporate clothes, rather.
Interesting.
And H-Cell was supposed to arrive here between 24 and 36 hours after Drake told you they would come. And that was 2 a.m. So it shouldn't be until next morning that you should have H-Cell here. These guys are too early to be H-Cell.
Okay. I just needed to double check.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Alright,
Well-
so they got boys in black.
What was that? Yeah, they got...
On
Yeah,
the keys.
exactly. You can see Turner, because you recognize his silhouette, even from this distance, showing up to this place, and the difference in body language. Turner's group approaches like they try to intercept and steer. The newcomer, they're not spreading out like a SWAT team or anything. They just replace the space. 2 of them drift just enough to make a lane that Turner has to walk through if he wants to talk. One stays half a step behind the boss's shoulder the entire time, close enough that it reads as protection, not deference. No shots, no shouting, just a quiet, unmistakable transfer of control. The tribal police, they're present but peripheral, held at police distance by ABC, at a polite distance by ABC escorts, who suddenly look relieved that someone else is taking the problem. And the remaining ABC guards hover in that uncertain middle zone, guns visible, not raised, watching men who look like they've done this before and hoping they won't have to decide who they're supposed to obey. And then the whole group moves off the pad together towards the administration building in a tight, deliberate knot, leaving the helicopter idling a little longer than it needs to. Rotor is still turning. Maybe they want to depart as quickly as they arrived.
And to be clear, I was asleep for all that.
Yep. Nobody's woken you up yet.
I'll tell him when he wakes up.
He has been sleeping for 2 hours, so he'd need another 4 hours for a proper sleep.
I'll tell him when he wakes up.
Very well.
That's all that's left now is continue to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole group is going into Turner's office. You can't see much of them from... You're a little bit too far away. You can't see the features. Their athletic builds, their corporate suits, and so on. But eventually, you're not going to be very surprised to notice. It's going to take a few minutes. This entire entourage will, in fact, enter Turner's office. It's going to be one packed office now. You can see their shades through the binoculars and so on. And, yeah. They're all filing in there. You'll hear Turner's voice. Please, come in. Have a seat. We weren't expecting... No. You can hear another voice. Just, no. There's mufflings. Someone else is moving near the door, maybe. Boots on tile. You're early, unannounced. We're in the middle of an incident. I see. You can hear chair leg scraping. For your safety, the facility is restricted. We've had an armed intrusion. There are procedures. Tribal police are on site. I need the line. The Sapphire. Of course. You hear Turner exhaling through his nose. But today isn't... Today is exactly the day. I can provide documentation, QC packets, shipping confirmation. We can schedule a controlled visit once the... No. You hear a faint click. Someone is shifting. Turner lowers his voice. It becomes a little bit lost. Jurisdiction, American facility, tribal land. Your gate is broken. Excuse me? Says Turner. 2 prisoners left your custody. They killed your men. They took a vehicle. They drove through your perimeter. You now hear just HVAC and just... How would you know that? Because you are not the only one watching. Listen, this is an active crime scene. I can't allow... And then you hear contamination, liability. Your procedures have failed. We are cooperating with local authorities. You are managing local authorities. Of course, sure. What do you want? Records, batch logs, failure reports, samples, names. Everyone who touched Sapphire. And I want to see your restricted work, and I want to see the Incinerator. It's propriety. It's restricted. Compromised. You don't understand what you're asking for. I understand exactly. You hear a little bit of a rustle. A smaller voice near the door is saying something too low to catch. Who was that? Someone you do not want to disappoint. Listen, we can handle this without making it worse. I can give you... You are already worse. If you start walking armed men through my facility and someone says the wrong thing, I get the FBI all over... There it is. I'm saying we keep it local. We keep it contained. Stop using that word. You have 2 problems. Authorities and visibility. Your product is now visible to people who are not meant to see it. There was no release. There was a breach. This is my facility. Then act like it. You will escort us now? Immediately. And they leave the office again. Any reactions, Morgan?
Okay, we know we found the guys who want the sapphire, at least. That's one thing off the checklist. Gotta find names, though.
Yep. I think Blair might be calling this in to our friends in the motel room. Just because. Who is responding to that call?
I think I am?
Okay. Not Tristan?
If he wants to respond, he can.
Tristan, do you want to respond to the call? Are you in charge now? Who's in charge of this little group of...
Tristan can't really reach anything because Sarah has him handcuffed to the bed, so he's just there.
I'll hold the phone up to your ear, don't worry.
Yeah.
Blair will just say, yeah, Blair here. We just have some company here out at the plant. Some strangers? I don't know who they are. Like, what do we call these guys? And she's gonna look over to Morgan. What do we call these guys?
What do we call these guys? I don't know. They look like third party.
Some third
I had a
party.
French accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Third party.
The leader had a distinct accent.
Morgan says they're like the buyers, I think.
Lovely. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
So
I just...
you want us to come out there and help you, or
No, I
what-
just
what
wanted
do
to keep you on the
want?
loop, keep you updated. That's
Okay.
all.
Thank you.
You're hurt. You shouldn't go anywhere. Blair, Dr. Blair takes over Blair. Is like, what? No, my patient is not going to get in harm's way.
Oh, we should talk to our superiors about this new info, I think.
Drake, yeah.
Later.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Perhaps.
Seems like a thing to tell Drake.
As you are talking to your friends in the motel, you are going to see that little cluster of people who is Turner and his ABC guards, together with... You'd count them to be about half a dozen or so. It's hard to make an excellent exact count from this distance through binoculars. But they're going over to the Incinerator, apparently. Rather than the security annex. And that's going to take them all of a few minutes, I guess. They will walk across the lawn, all of them together, and into the incinerator facility, and the doors close behind them, and that's it for now. What might you want to do?
What is there to do other than watch?
Not much. Fallas has slept for 2.5 hours now. He still needs more sleep.
He can stay asleep. I'm watching.
Very good.
Honestly, I want to make sure that I want to make extra sure that, like, our places is... Like, our vantage point isn't, like, going to be compromised anytime soon. Is there any way I could, like, double check that? See if I could fill in any gaps in the meanwhile.
Sure. Roll a survival check.
Okay.
Blair will keep the binoculars peeled.
SADG. What is this?
You are the expert outdoors person, right? That is what you
Yes.
are.
This is just insane.
Yeah. If people look this way, bad things are gonna happen to you. If there's a police presence and they're patrolling out this way, bad things will happen to you.
Okay.
Because this place is not properly covered up. You will hear, as you're doing this, you will hear Blair say, Jesus Christ, how long are they going to investigate the incinerator? They've been in there for half an hour now.
Oh,
And
dear
that's when it kicks off.
Guess I'll just go back to beeping then.
And that's when it kicks off.
Oh dear Lord.
Suddenly, out from, and you can see this through the binoculars, out from the incinerator, all those SEAL guys, basically, are coming out from the incinerator. They're heavily armed. We're talking at least submachine guns, if not assault rifles. They have helmets, they have vests, they have tactical gear, they have everything. And they're just moving tactically from the incinerator unit and opening up fire. Ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-bum. You can see one ABC guard just falls over immediately. Some of the repair guys around the security annex, they just run for cover. They do not want to be in the way. And these guys are making a fire and movement style approach towards the administrative building. What do you do, Morgan?
Oh my dear God. Is this a zombie situation? They let the zombies out? What is going on? I need to see what is happening here. What are they shooting at?
The local staff. Any ABC guard getting too close. Brrrt. Tribal police will hear this, rush towards the scene. Brrrt, brrrt. Tribal police will just drop like flies. These are amazing marksmen, Morgan. Blair is going to wake Fallas up. Fallas, you're awake!
Hello, it's me, Fallas.
Yeah, Fallas, they're doing the thing we were supposed to do, I think.
Huh?
Yeah, they're killing themselves for us.
Nice.
Yeah, they're like a bunch of guys came in and started shooting everything that moves, so they're not on our team. We don't want them seeing us.
Meanwhile,
Drake?
Blair is calling Gwyn again.
What's up?
They're shooting. The new arrivals, the third parties, the buyers, they've started shooting up everything over there. Like, they just went out of the house. They're armed to the teeth, assault rifles, the whole 9 yards, and they're shooting anyone who gets in the way, and they're just moving. Crack troops.
Are you in danger?
No, we're far from the plant.
Okay, so it sounds like they're doing our jobs for us? What? Okay.
I'm still not. Are we sure that's not H-Cell?
That's not H-Cell. I made sure. Too many men, too early, and too many men in general.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
We don't want these guys coming towards us, though. They are skilled.
Well, sounds like we can just pack up and leave.
We just gotta stay here until something happens.
I think something has happened.
I think we gotta
Well,
keep an eye out. Dude, oh man, imagine if we had the rocket now. We could have had that fucking helicopter.
But don't we want the helicopter? Because the helicopter brought the, like, dudes that are doing our jobs for us.
Yeah, but like the dudes that were doing our jobs for us are also the dudes who want the blue goo.
I think this is an enemy of our enemy is also our enemy situation.
Yeah,
Okay, then maybe I'll call Drake and just say that, yeah,
we found the third
apparently
party, they're shooting up the second party.
Hear me out. They've already got 3 parties in there because they've got ABC staff and travel security and these new guys. So if we also get in the fight, that's a 4-way shootout.
I'm not joining the
Nothing.
four-way shootout until
I'm not saying
at
we
least
can.
one of them is dead.
All I'm saying is we give the military permission to go in and blow shit up.
5 parties.
Yeah, because something tells me tactical assault rifles aren't legal yet.
They are with a permit. It's just not the murder part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, also the murder's definitely illegal.
Yeah, that's normally the part that gets them.
Yeah, I think we can get Drake in here at this point.
Yeah, let's call Drake. Let's keep watching for now. Do I need to do more stimulants, or am I good for a little bit since I just woke up?
You have a -20 from exhaustion.
Okay. Then yes. Give me a moment. I will be doing stimulants, but give me a moment. I'll make the rolls in just a minute, okay?
Yep.
Okay, yep.
Drugs.
Drugs.
You have to start actually carrying a little bag of cocaine for that 2d6, man. It's crazy.
So for
You don't want to build
so for a good
dependence on that
cause,
stuff.
right?
Get some of that
For a good
old-timey
cause.
cocaine chewing gum they used to sell in the Sears catalog.
What? I'm too young for this. They did what
Oh,
now?
okay. Back in the the late 1800s to early 1900s, you could buy medical cocaine chewing gum.
Hell
They
yeah.
just sold it straight out of the
Yeah.
Sears catalog. Machine.
So around the same time, you could get a bottle of radium and irradiated water and drink that. It's a magic tonic.
Yeah, life
Make
was
you
sick
really
back then,
fast.
bro.
All right. So as you're talking to each other, this team of, I don't know, SWAT special forces, what do you want to call it, is entering the building with maximum prejudice. They are taking up tactical positions around the doors. They will shoot at the glass doors so they splinter. They will toss in grenades, flashbangs, whatever. You can notice the flashes and so on from in there. They're filing in one after another in tactical column. You can hear the firing, you can hear the screaming, you can hear the klaxon going off again. There are people running towards their position, but of course, the guards who are doing that, coming up from the gate, are immediately going to be encountered by intense suppressive fire from the gate and will either die or take cover very quickly. It's getting massacre down there. What are we doing here, Fallas and Morgan? You are the closest. Fallas, Morgan, and Blair are the closest to the scene.
Okay. Honestly, what the hell did they see in that incinerator? That's making them go shooty on everything here. Like, what are they doing? What is happening?
But
I think maybe it was bad enough that they deserved it.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
I
Like,
think these guys care much about morals, seeing as they allowed all this to happen. It's got to be some sort of, I don't know. I don't think it's like the atrocity part of it. I think there's like some sort of risk.
it seems more like a cleanup crew as far as I can tell. Like, they flew in on the helicopter and got the greeting. Like, it seems like he knew who they were and was nervous, but
But with that conversation, I thought they were giving Mr. Turner a second chance. Unless they were just luring him into a false sense of security so they could kill him or something. I don't know.
You haven't seen Turner since he went into the incinerator.
Oh, they probably shot him. I wanted to do that.
damn. So realistically, I don't think it's a good idea to get in a fight with these guys. But
Oh no.
they are doing a lot of good shit for us right now in that they're killing people. And I don't think they're going to blow up production, but if they're killing all the people, then that might very well be on the table. So the question is, do we get in a position where we might have to engage, or do we just stay back here and report and just let them know how it goes? Say, sorry, Drake, H-cell is too slow.
Over the police radio, which Fallas has already rigged and so on, you will hear, all units stand by for priority traffic. Repeat, all units stand by for priority traffic. And then there is a little bit of a pause, paper shuffling, and then you can hear the dispatcher going into read from a card mode. Be advised, ABC is reporting an unscheduled, it's unknown occupants. Let's see now. This is 4 to 8, all in dark gear, body armor, long guns possibly present. Shots are fired, police are down, security guards are down. All units, let's go.
You think they're gonna think that we are one of those guys that just ran in and started shooting everything because we also did that?
Yeah, we did do that.
They could build a pretty good cover story that these guys are doing a lot.
That's,
Yeah.
We're running in and shooting everything.
This is just like in Harry Potter, where they're like, Grindelwald is the worst wizard in the world. We hate this guy. We'll remember him forever. And then there's a guy named Voldemort that shows up like 20 years later, and everyone just completely forgets that one guy. And they're like, new worst guy. We hate this one.
We can pin all of our crimes on
I mean,
these
it's like
dudes.
you got 2 people running in to shoot everything, and then you got like 20 people running in to shoot everything.
Remember when
Yeah.
I lied about
think
the
it's
fast
worse.
response team, and now I seem like I'm vindicated?
All units to ABC. ABC security. Go ahead. This is an active shooting. We're not gonna stand out here while people get executed. Negative, detective. Nobody goes in blind against an unknown armed team. Hold position. We're getting eyes in control. Arrivals are pushing towards the admin building. ABC escort tried to intercept. They were another 2 down. Copy it. For additional shots? Confirm? Affirmed. Additional shots. This is not warning fire. They're shooting to stop. Yeah, you can hear the radio traffic. Like, the radios are lit up by warnings right now. And as you are watching this tactical team is going into the admin building. That's the last you've seen of them for a while. And maybe we just pause the story here, and because you're just watching this whole unfold and having some popcorn, aren't you?
It's my birthday today.
Congratulations.
Nice.
It's your birthday today, and you get to watch stuff go down, apparently.
It's not actually my birthday, but like with all this stuff happening, it might as well be.
You are happy to see the enemy of your enemy just absolutely destroy.
These guys need to go. They need to go. Look what they did to my boy Thomas Ironshirt.
Yeah.
I know.
They did bad
Justice
things.
for Ironshirt.
Yeah, I think we might actually know. We probably shouldn't tell Thomas that the building's currently under fire. He might not.
Oh
like
no,
that.
they're gonna. If Lynn's in there, Lynn is cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we'll not.
Yeah, she
Let's
would be
not
back.
tell him the building is currently under fire.
Yeah, he's gonna run in there and then he's gonna get shot 25 times, probably more. It's gonna look like Swiss cheese by the end of this.
Yeah.
I can see how Fallas and Morgan might not be wanting to go into close combat given their current health state.
Oh no, yeah, I'm in single digits right now.
Yeah, I know. So on that rather odd note, we'll end this session, I guess, and come back next week to see if there is anything left of the ABC plant and what you plan to do about this assault in more detail, if anything. It gives you a little bit of time to think on this cliffhanger. Where did
I don't
these
think
guys
any-
come from? Why are they destroying the plant? So many questions.
Any other cell ever get this far?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Anyway, if you like this content, follow, subscribe, all the things, you know, to stay in tune with ACEL's instructions, and we will see you next time.